Okay, thought of something else I can try. The original carburetor doesn't have this little tiny port with this little tiny jet insert screwed into it. Instead, the tiny jet insert screws directly into the bottom of the main jet. So the way the fuel gets into the original carburetor is it has this completely different bowl with this special screw that holds it on with these holes in it. So the fuel basically is able to travel through those two holes and come up the middle of this hollow screw and go directly up into the main jet. On the other carburetor that I picked up, it's only got this tiny little hole on the side here, and it's got a standard bowl that's held on by this solid screw. So when this screw is in place with the bowl, this effectively completely blocks off this bottom part. So all the fuel for the main jet is fed through that little tiny opening, as opposed to these two openings here. So it's just a little bit of a difference. Might not make any difference at all, but I'm willing to try it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tiny jet up into its location that it was in this carburetor setup, and then I'm going to block this hole, and then I'm going to put this bowl on this carburetor with this special screw. I also verified that these two tiny little jet inserts, although they looked identical to me at first, they are different. This one I could barely get to go onto this particular size cleaning rod, and if I put the camera down for a second, this one goes on no problem. So this one clearly is the larger of the two. So since I'm dealing with the higher horsepower engine, I'm going to put this one in instead of that small one. Now, I could block off that hole. Yeah, I wonder whether or not I need to. Because basically, if that's left wide open, that's going to have the same effect as these holes. So, by not blocking that hole off, the only thing I'll be doing is I'll be negating the action of this anti-backfire solenoid. But for my testing purposes right now, I don't think I'm going to go through the trouble of blocking that hole off. I think I'll just stick the other needle jet insert, the leftover one there that threads into there. I'll stick that into there. That'll restrict some of the flow. Well, it looks like I can't screw that all the way in there like that because it sticks in far enough that it impedes on the threads, and this special bolt is longer than the original one from this carburetor, so this one doesn't go in far enough to basically impinge on that area. This one does, so I'm gonna have to take that out. I actually left that insert in there. I just backed it out far enough so it wasn't impinging on the threaded area where the bowl screw threads in. So now I got this back together, and I'm going to go throw it on there and see what happens. Okay, I had to relocate the gas line again. Had to move that fitting back because I had to move this choke, this anti-backfiring solenoid back more so I could get this air filter housing on. So now I'm ready to hook up the gas line, give it a shot. Definitely running better, idling nicely, and at high speed it is running better, even though the governor's still hunting, but it's no longer backfiring out of the carburetor. It seems to be running more smoothly. And if I hold the butterfly open, it seems to maintain the high RPMs without coughing and sputtering. So I may be dealing with some kind of a governor problem now. Surges every once in a while. There it goes. And then it'll run fine. But I'm not at full RPM, so I'm only getting about probably 90, maybe about 100 volts. I'll put the throttle up higher to get more voltage, you'll start surging bad.